So the day has come that I've finished filling this whole calendar, and now I just have to do the cover and it's finished. What I'm going to do today is put the cover on, and then I'm going to do a flip through of all the pages so we can just go through them together and see how it all turned out. As time went on, I realized that the theme of the book is just things I love. So you can see that as we go through it, but I thought what I would do for the cover, I have a pad of scrapbook paper, and this is 12 by 12. And as you can see, it has, as I filled it up, it has, the pages have moved out, and I don't know if you can see this, but they, because of the volume of paper that went in, the pages have kind of pushed out, and I've had to tape some of them in and glue some of them in so that, because the staples let go. I have this pad of scrapbook paper and I found the perfect page. So what I'm going to do is just glue this on as is. I'm not going to collage it. It says live in the sunshine, swim in the sea, which are my favorite things. However, since this has moved out here, if I glue it on here, it's not going to cover this. And I had to repair the spine here anyway. So I decided what I'm going to do is attach it here so that it just comes out to the edge of this, maybe a little bit over. And then I'll also tape this end down and we'll see how that goes. So to start with, I'm going to glue on this paper. I actually considered going over it with gesso first because it's really shiny. However, the other side of it is just as shiny, and I didn't do that then, and everything has stuck just fine. So I'm going to put the glue here and actually spread it around with the spreader. And I want to also get it right to the edge here. And the paper that I'm using is actually cardstock. So I wouldn't ordinarily get glue on my little unit here. However, I want it to be quite even, and you know how glue can make, you can see the lines, and I don't really want that, so I'm going to, do you know what I mean? You can see the lines that are or have been wet. I'm just going to wipe this off while it's still damp, and then pop this on and hopefully get it pretty straight. It's pretty good. And then go over it again. Now I want to push this glue out a little bit because it was not quite to the edge. Just to make sure the edges are down. I might end up going over it around the edge with some washi tape if I have the one that really appeals to me. I'm not really sure about that yet. So right now I'm just going to do this part and then flip it over and do the back. And I chose a coordinating piece to go on the back. This is quite busy, but I think I like it anyway. So since this is all about the things I like, well, why not? Now, one thing I could do is actually glue, just hold on, let me think about this for a moment. I have all this coordinating paper. I could make a spine and fold it over the edge, and I do like that idea. So let's see if I've got something that appeals. I think I like this. So I'm going to do that, even though I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. And I'll probably use washi to keep the edges down anyway. And then I'm going to fold it using this board. When I was on vacation in August, we went to this used bookstore. We went to Penticton, and if you don't know where that is, it's in the interior of British Columbia, near in a valley with lots of lakes. And there's a used bookstore there. So we like to go and peruse the used books. And I was in the mood for Paris, all things Paris, because I'm sort of getting the urge to go again. But I bought one that is about Paris, and it was it's about this lady, this woman who works for a gallery in Washington State, I think. Anyway, she's given the job of being the courier to take a painting. It was a set of sketches by some artist who wasn't hugely well known or popular, but enough to give value to the work. Okay, and she just had a very nasty surprise, which is a great way to start a book, by the way. When life is just ticking along and then suddenly something awful happens. In this case, she found out that her husband, who wasn't much of a husband anyway, had a whole family that he'd hidden from her, including 5-year-old twins. So of course she gave him the boot right away, being the smart girl she was. Okay, I think I want the bright side on the front. So I'm going to turn this over and place it. See, I glued only half of it. Place it right here. I hope that's really straight. Let me see. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay, I need to put the glue on the rest of it. And then I feel like I should put clips on it or something, but maybe if I just hold it for a few minutes, it'll stick down really well. Anyway, she hides these artworks in her suitcase, meets her seatmate on the plane, invites her out for dinner once they get to Paris, which she accepts because he's nice, you know. Anyway, now, should I put some tape along here, or would that be like overkill? Kind of don't think there's such a thing as overkill in this kind of work, but it's a matter of preference. So I have this one, which is gold and pink and kind of goes. I think that's too much of the same. I have these skinny ones. That's a very yellow gold. But let's give it a try. And these ones are notoriously not very sticky. Oh, I like that. So I'm going to stick it down, but it may lift off just because it's not very sticky, and I usually end up, you know, the lifted off parts get glued eventually anyway. That gives it a little bit more pizzazz, I'd say. There we go. All right, back to the book. So she goes to dinner with this fellow because he's there for a conference and he's some kind of tech guy. You know, one thing leads to another. She's just, she was not heartbroken about her marriage ending because things weren't all that happy anyway. And anyway, they end up spending some time together in her hotel room, let's say. And I'm going to put this on the back as well. And she wakes up in the morning, he's gone, and so are the sketches. The place has been, like, she had fakes and put them in the hotel, in the safe in the room. Those were ripped apart and discarded because apparently the person knew that they were fake, the thief, whoever it was. So she instantly concludes that it was this guy she met who seemed like such a nice guy and not the type at all to be a jewel thief or an art thief. But then what is the type, right? It's like anybody who's a good thief can be a good liar. So she finds his hotel and confronts him, and he's like, what? I'm going to leave it there because that's about as far as I got. But let's just say the plot thickens. Or, as we always said in our family, the thought plickens. Okay, let's have a nice flip through of this beautiful book. I love the size. So, the theme, live in the sunshine, swim in the sea. I love it. I could decorate this because it's a little on the plain side, but for now, we'll just leave it as it is. Okay, page by page. I'm just going to move a few things here. Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to show you this. It's an inkwell my daughter brought me from England when she was there in July. because I have a little collection of inkwells. She knows I like them. So page 1. Now I've got this piece here, which is the cover, and it looks kind of odd to me. And I think I'll put some washi tape on that while we're looking at it. Oh, by the way, sorry for interrupting myself, but I got a whole bunch of stickers in the mail the other day and little pieces of ephemera. And I went, okay, how am I going to store these? And then I remembered I had this little filing box, which is for business cards, and it belonged to my brother-in-law who passed away years ago. But it's a little wood box, and so I've just been popping them in here so that they're easy to find. So I'm going to be working on this idea some more, but I just thought I'd share that, because if you're kind of stumped with how to keep track of all the little bits, that's something you might try. You can just, make one. Like I bought these at a little shop nearby, and I have some extra paper files I thought I would cut to fit anyway. Anyway, there's an idea for keeping track of all the bits and pieces. So anyway, with this book I've been reading, I think what's going to happen is they're going to set off to try and solve the mystery of what happened to the sketches. And I think I know who's behind it, because I'm pretty good at figuring those things out. We can watch Midsummer Murders or something, and after a few minutes I'll say to my husband, he did it. He's the killer. And he's like, have you seen this one before? We haven't watched this before. I'm like, no, we haven't, but I know. Because I read a lot, and I've written some books, as you know, and there's a link below for those as well if you're interested. I know how the story structure works. Well, that looks good. I think that really works. So here's some things that I love. I just love illustration, for one thing. This is a lovely place at a shore, and I actually really like these kind of things. And then there's the beach with children happily playing, and over here we've got a beautiful tropical scene, another one, some tropical kind of flowers, just pretty things. And adventures are the best way to learn. So I just went kind of page by page and made it up as I went along. This appeals to me greatly, having your own little cabana on the beach, especially in blue and white, my favorite. Love the jacket she's got on and her huge hat, and the fact that she's painting at the beach. Love the watercolors, the flowers and the ocean in the background, and just water. And then pelicans, which I saw for the first time when I took a cruise out of Galveston many years ago. Seashells, always love the pastels. This is actually cake, and these are edible, but who's to say? And then sand, so white, you've got to wear your shades, and here's the white sand. Runners or sneakers or plimsolls, depending where you're from, for beside the sea. And this, I love these chairs. One of my goals is to get one. And the hammock, of course, between a couple of palm trees. Life is perfect. And over here, oh, the garden scene for the artist, which is me. I'm a painter as well. And just beautiful little sort of vignettes of things and the colors. Same here. Lovely room with pale colors. I love white in decoration. This looks more like lake than ocean, which is also lovely. And picnic at the beach. Little watercolor, one of my favorite things. European, this looks like Greek, which I have never actually been to Greece, but the whitewash and the blues, very much kind of indicative. And then just scenes that evoke a feeling. That's really what I was after with these, just to evoke a feeling. And here's me in my white dress sketching with watercolors. I put in some paint brushes to sort of pull that in. Love the pastels on the deck. This looks like a beautiful summer house. And then I chose a color theme for this, which was to bring in the richer colors. This is obviously from the era of the chintz and the floral sort of Victorian look, which is fun. And I love these kind of colors too. I actually wear this kind of color a lot, which you can tell by my t-shirt. Picnic by the water with a beautiful basket and cake, and another picnic here. Pretty dresses, beautiful flowers. And then another color theme. So this is France, or Paris actually, and I love the whole evocative mood for this. Same here. And then this is a sticker with watercolors of books. And on this side we've got, again, sort of the cabana, do-it-yourself cabana or deck or for your yard, and white clothes, love that, and linen dresses or cotton. This is such a cute hairstyle. Mine doesn't exactly do that, so, which is always kind of a disappointment, but oh well. We don't all have exactly the kind of hair we want. And then a map with postcards and photos of travels, travel is one of my favorite things. And then I put washi around here that sort of evokes the whole blue and white, which I kind of got carried away with, as you can see here. Lovely spot there. Just, you know, the summer. And of course I was doing this into the spring and summer, so it kind of came through. Lovely sketch here. Some more blues and open windows. And then I went with warm colors here. So we've got peaches, which are blanched, they have no fuzzy side on them, and just like coffee with friends, and colors and roses and sand and more watercolors and sketches and things like that, and just little pieces to, you know, fill spaces and give visual activity. That's one of the things I love. I could never be a minimalist because I love visual activity, which is that there's lots going on in your visual space. And on these pages, I went for something a little bit simpler, partly because there was like these huge pictures from the magazines, and I didn't want to lose anything of it. So I used a background paper of scrapbooking paper and covered the whole page, and then added this, but I didn't put a lot of extra ephemera and fluffy stuff. And this, of course, is just covering up some type that was on the page. But I wanted to pull in some of these colors, and I love the intensity of these. And then this one here was a 2-page spread, but I didn't really want to use both of them. But so I chose the one that had the fun things. So here's a candle chandelier hanging from a tree for an outdoor picnic, and this means summer in French. It's l'été, and I like the greens, how they've pulled the greens all together here. So we've got the cake and the green apples, and the hat that's sort of yellow green, and the green on the umbrella. And then I chose these pinks with the greens, and this watercolor piece in pink and green to pull all these pieces together on this pink background. And for this one, again, I went with a background so that I wasn't like covering the whole page with pictures and filling every space, but I wanted to have something in the background. This looks to me like maybe Spain or Mexico, and this covers up a little blurb of something. Again, with the lanterns, which I really love, and then Hawaiian flowers. And over here, whoops, let's pick this up. This looks to me like maybe Italy, but these egrets, I'm not sure what their habitat is. I think they're probably along the Gulf Coast of the US. Not really sure. If you know, if they live in your area, let me know. I'm interested to find out. And then again, some palms and some blues and this nice monstera leaf. And then I was really liking putting the washi around. Plus I had to actually stick the pages back in because they were pulling away. This one is about being on or near the water. I love this little boat. It looks like, Doesn't look like you'd really go anywhere in it, but you could hop in there and push off from the shore and read a book all day, which sounds heavenly to me. Again, we took to the beach for another day, Henry David Thoreau, which sounds like a lovely thing to do. Here's a beautiful beach somewhere in the tropics because there's a palm tree, you can tell. And then over here, I've got another one of these cabana ideas with the lounge and the sand, and then this lovely resort area, again, right near the ocean. So you can see that the theme is like beachcombers. The background paper has shells on it. This one has like bubbles and a coastal state of mind. So these are things that I love. It's not the only things I love, but I love it a lot. So there you go. And then I went with, again, some more vibrant colors here. So I've got the artist going down to the beach to sketch, and a beautiful place in the garden, some flowers, artist's paradise. And here she is sketching. That would be me when my hair was dark. It is not any longer, but I used to have long dark hair, so times change and so does hair. And then these pieces with the deep colors, I put the little boots down before I put the washi tape on, and then I went, oh, I covered up the boots, so I actually just drew them in, and I think it's actually kind of effective. But these colors, the vibrant colors with these like almost fluorescent roses, just so gorgeous. And then we have washi tape that has let go, so I'm going to have to glue that down. In fact, I think I might do that right now, because if I don't, I think what will happen is it will just keep doing that. I'm going to run along both the page and the washi like that with my glue. There is a link below for this glue. It's excellent. So we'll just pop that in there, make it stick. And then over here, again, the resort idea. I love these white buildings with the balconies. And then it just happened that the pictures I pulled out to go with were all drinks. So I think, okay, this is about summer beverages, and you know, this is so pretty. I love the coconut idea, and this one again to pull colors together. And then on this side, more things I love: traveling, seeing the world, beach bags. This looks like Bermuda or something to me, and then a house like this would be like primo for me. I also put a little background in it with some tracing paper that I made the background with, which is in this video that I've just put up here. And then there's the figure I used to have, not quite there still, but I'm okay with that. Anyway, we've got another white space here, and I'm going to use, not that one, I'm going to use, which one? I'm going to use this one again because it works and it's just the right width, and put it along the side here if it lets go. It has little dolphins on it and seashells, and can you see that? Sort of dancing dolphins. I'm going to put it over the edge again and just kind of stick it down there to the table even. And line it up really well here with the edge, like that. And I'm going to cut it off like that, and also here, so that it's just flush with the edge. Sometimes scissors don't cut right to the end of the tip. These are usually good, but when I cut washi tape, they get sticky. Okay. And this is another one that has some paper from that pad with all the tropical stuff, so the colors all go in. And then we have the back cover, which we just did. And I'm going to put one more thing on here, I think, from this little thing. If I can find one that's, you know what, I like this, traveling light. I think I'll put it down here. And I need my crackly paper so that I can glue right off the edge. Man, my fingers must be extra slippery today. Put that back in there. And of course it will curl. There. So there's a whole completed project. And it's the kind of thing that cold wintry afternoon or evening I can flip through it and make plans for my life and remind myself what I really love and what I want to do, so I can look at this and go, you know what, I do want to go to Florida, I do want to go to Paris, I do want to paint on a beach, I want that chair, and someday I'll go to Greece. And that's my purpose for this book, and I have enjoyed it immensely, and I'm so glad that you followed along. So I recommend that you choose one of these videos next, and I'll see you next time.